Hello and welcome back to Into the Shoujo-Verse. Today we are recording our finale. I am Summosa, and we are joined today by not all of us, unfortunately, for the finale, but we have Bees, Nikki, and Azayan.
Hello.
So today it's going to be a little bit, we are always casual, but more casual than normal.
This is gonna be a low energy episode.
A little bit too low energy.
And that's okay.
So we're gonna talk about shoujo and how it's impacted us for the most part. It has definitely impacted my wallet. I think I spent I don't want to say the amount on Basara volumes for the past year. And
how many volumes of manga in general do you have?
Honestly, not that many, but it's mostly the Basara volumes that ate up all my money. But it was worth it. I have no regrets.
We can start by talking about the monetary impacts of shoujo.
Okay.
Yes, Asa also has a big manga collection.
She has
I recall correctly.
You have Inuyasha, right? Like the entire set.
I don't have all of them. I have up to volume 38. Trying to complete my Ranma Half collection. I'm missing 4 volumes of that. I would say all together I have about 500.
Dang.
But honestly, I don't know. It could be more or less than that. That's just a general estimation. I've been collecting for more than 15 years. So when you spread out the money like that, and then a lot of the volumes have been used, it's not that bad.
They have really increased in price in the past year or so because of COVID. It's insane. Kami-sama Kiss is not out of print, but people are selling it for the entire set, 25 volumes for $1,500, and people actually bought it. It's not out of print. I have to emphasize it. It was just out of stock. All you had to do was wait a few months for whatever volume to just come back in stock. Jeez. I was thinking of just selling, I have 3 of the volumes, and I think this one, 2 of them were selling for $100, and I was I was really debating on just selling it and then just buying it again later.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
I like shoujo, but I don't like it that much to spend $1,500 on volumes.
Yeah, no, that's vacation money.
Yeah.
Or debt money.
Yeah, I don't actually spend money on shoujo either. I wish I actually did a long time ago, because I think they're a little bit more expensive now than they were back then too, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just don't know I just never knew where to buy them. And I still I don't know, I've never really seen much physicals in general.
It's just easier to buy them online, or to just read the ebook.
Yeah.
But even the ebooks are expensive too for a digital copy. Why am I going to pay $10 for something I can also buy for $10?
Yeah, it should be half price if it's just an ebook.
I feel it typically is less expensive.
But not by much.
Digitally.
I don't know, I don't have any ebooks.
Guess it depends.
Also, one volume is only 5 chapters? It's really not worth it.
It depends. Well, if we're talking about shoujo. Shoujo tends to have longer chapters, but shonen is sometimes they'll stuff 10 chapters in a volume. Yeah, because they're shorter.
Viz has all the shonen, and they are cheaper than the other manga companies by a couple bucks per volume.
I recently started buying some though. I stopped a little bit because I hate I don't want to start a collection when I'm transient.
Yeah.
Then I have to just bring it everywhere with me.
Yeah, I moved out of my parents' house 13 years ago, and half of my manga is still there.
Oh no.
I'm working on it.
13 years ago?
That's 250 volumes, right? It's as you
I
said,
don't. Yeah, it's not like exactly half, but a good chunk still in the closet in my old bedroom.
As it should be.
No, I want them here.
What would you do if you have kids and they like ruined all your manga?
Honestly, I don't think I would be like that tore up. I'm not a very materialistic person. I don't get really attached to stuff. I even considered selling my Pokemon card collection a bit ago, and I have like over 3,000 cards.
Oh, wow.
And some like really,
You should definitely sell it now when it's expensive.
Yeah, the thing is, you have to, with Pokemon cards, if you want to actually make money, you have to go get the rare cards graded. Like, you have to pay to have them graded by like a professional company if you want to actually make money on them. And like, although I do have a lot of rare cards, like they're not in like perfect condition. So I don't know. I estimate I could probably make $2,000 or $3,000 off of them, maybe.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. They're just sitting there. I don't know if I'm gonna sell them.
Some people are making like Pokemon card walls. I remember seeing that on like TikTok.
That is kind of a cool idea. But then, like, if you move, you have to take it down.
That's true.
And that's like,
you
can't, like, it's just ruined.
Too.
Yeah. When I'm like trying to make these decisions about like decorating or like collections, I'm just like, I'm probably gonna move. Then the next year or two, it's gonna be a pain.
The only thing I bought for like decoration stuff was like a bed frame, because before that my mattress was just on the floor.
I hate being so transient and like having like year-long housing only really before moving, because it's like I can't buy nice furniture.
Yeah.
Or like you can, but you know, I'm like hesitant to do it because like I'll move with it and like I don't know how long I'm gonna be here for.
Honestly, you should, if you have the money to, you should buy nice furniture, because moving takes a really heavy toll on your furniture. Like, your IKEA furniture is only gonna maybe handle one move, if that. So, I would get nicer furniture if you have the money for it, because it can stand up to the moving.
My IKEA table has handled 3 moves, and I'm very proud of it. Don't diss on IKEA.
Hey,
it's doing its best.
I have plenty of IKEA furniture in my house. It is like 80% IKEA furniture.
The thing with the thing with pricier furniture is also rather usually heavier or larger, and I also don't want to move it.
Nikki, you have so many boy toys you could call over.
I do not.
Are you sure, Nikki? I'm sure Crypto Guy would have loved to help you out.
I'm actually really bad at asking for help like that.
Aw.
Alright, well, I can talk about another way that shoujo has impacted me. When I was a middle schooler, that's when I started reading shoujo manga, and by the time I was in 9th grade, I was so obsessed with it, like reading it in class under my desk or drawing anime during class, that my grades started to really go down. Like, I was a straight A student, and then like I was getting like a D in math.
Oh my god.
Because of manga. Because I was so obsessed with it and just was not paying attention in class and was just reading under the desk. Got called out by the teacher multiple times for doing that. But then we moved to Ohio, and I got stuck like right in front of the teacher in the class, like literally in the first row of desks. And then I went back to an A because I had to pay attention. So that saved me, but it actually did have a negative impact on my grades. So, not a great look, manga. Not a great look.
You know, when you were talking about reading manga under your desk, it took me back to this time. I distinctly remember 10th grade. I was in my whatever math class I was taking.
Algebra 2?
I don't remember. I have no idea. I remember the teacher. Anyways, I was sitting in the back of the class, and it was super easy. It was a snooze class for me. and I would sit in the back and I'd play Minesweeper on my phone all day.
Minesweeper?
Yeah. I'm not to flex or anything, but I'm kind of a Minesweeper pro.
Have you ever like entered a tournament or anything?
No, but I'd probably smoke the competition.
You
I gotta give everyone else a chance.
You should. Get some money.
Minesweeper competitions.
That could be your niche on Twitch. Just be the Minesweeper girl.
I'm sure there are other people who play Minesweeper.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
But are they as good as you? That's the question we all have no answers for.
I used to just sleep.
Yeah, same. If I didn't do anything in class, I would sleep.
Or I would just, my senior and junior year, I would just ditch. I had really bad attendance, especially senior year, when I drove myself. Well, actually, I drove myself junior year too. But when I started driving myself, my attendance was so bad.
I skipped school in my senior year, but I just stayed at home, and I just got my mom to write me like a sick note.
My mom got sick of getting freaking phone calls about my attendance. I just kept telling her, I'm like, it's whatever. I was like, they're lying.
Oh no.
Or like, I used to get pulled out of class for like some like study. Like they're doing a research study in my school and I was like part of it and they used to pull me out of class for it. And then they would always be too late to like excuse my absence. So they used to always call my house saying that like I was absent, and then I kept telling my mom, I'm like, they're gonna fix it because I was there for whatever. And then after that thing was over and I still kept ditching, I just kept telling her the same thing.
Did they not have like a detention thing for you guys?
They did have a detention thing, but I just did not do it.
Damn.
Oh no.
Nikki was a delinquent.
But if you skip detention, don't you get like suspension?
No, they don't make you. They just like they're like you. They basically let you do it whenever you want. But I just like never did it, and I graduated.
Wow.
My high school made detention like mandatory. If you like skip detention, it was just automatically becoming like in school suspension.
Well, they'll be like, you have like 4 Saturday schools and like 20 detentions you have to clear, and I'm like, shit, I'm not going to prom.
So did you not go to prom?
I actually didn't go to prom, no.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. So my prom, this is like kind of related to manga because it has to do with my interest in J-pop.
Did you dress up as a J-pop person for your prom?
No, I actually wore a very tasteful black dress, which I still have. Or do I?
Nice.
No, I might have given that away.
I'm proud of you, Azayan.
No, but...
You're not cosplaying yet.
I didn't... My skills were not good enough yet to cosplay, but they did have a DJ that took requests. Like, it was just a DJ sitting there with LimeWire, so, like, he could literally download anything and play it. So, me and the other nerdy kids went up and, like, would request... Yeah, me and the other weebs would go up and request, like, J-pop or anime music, and, like, would dance to our song, and then he'd be like, okay, we have to do some stuff for the other kids, too. So, like, there'd be, like, 6 of us on the dance floor dancing to our J-pop song, and then they'd put on, like, a normal... whatever, like, mainstream song, and, like, we'd go off, and the whole rest of the student body would, like, come on and dance. And then they'd go back to a J-pop song, and they'd all go off the dance floor, and us 6 would go back up there. It was so embarrassing.
I had to, my Japanese teacher made us sing J-pop songs in our Japanese class as a way to learn
Oh no.
Japanese.
Wow.
Like, I freaking sang AKB48 songs. She was freaking in love with Exile. We sang so many Exile songs. We sang an Arashi song. Oh my gosh. We used to sing a lot of J-pop songs in class.
I mean, I think that would be... Did you take Japanese because of your interest in manga?
No. Kinda, maybe a little bit.
Why Japanese then?
So I was like telling Bees and Sumo earlier, but like I wanted to transfer out of my like residential school into that school. You can say stuff like, "Oh, I want to take Japanese," but my like residential district doesn't allow me to take, or like they don't offer it. But your district offers it, so let me take it here. So I had to take it.
But why Japanese?
I don't know. That was the only one that was offered at that district.
The
That
only
wasn't.
language?
That was the only language that was offered there and not at my district. So it
Huh.
She
allowed
basically
me.
used it as an excuse.
Yeah, it was an excuse to transfer me to that school because that school is like considered like a better rated school.
Oh.
And then and so that's why. And then so my class consisted of weebs, people who transferred in like me and like maybe a couple of people. There actually wasn't that many people, and like Japanese heritage people.
Did you ever become proficient enough to like read manga in
No,
Japanese?
no, there's too much kanji. Kanji's so fucking hard.
Yeah. I knew my katakana and hiragana like really well, but kanji that's
There's
just
way too much
over my head.
kanji. I can read it in hiragana, but I can read it when they have like hiragana on the side of the kanji.
Right, yeah.
But it was really hard, and also I don't know. I don't think I did that. Japanese was probably the class I did the worst in out of all of high school. I did pretty bad, and at least in the later, like 3 and 4, it was really hard.
I think this is just that high school reminiscence episode. Let's
Definitely.
pretend we're in we're shoujo age.
Would you guys say that like shoujo or manga in general like did have any like other impacts on your school life or like on your choices in education?
I don't think it had.
I was just gonna say I can confidently say no.
Same.
I don't think I had like I've talked about this in therapy before, which I mentioned I think in the mental health episode. But like I talked about how like I feel like when I used to seek out when I was younger like the mangas where they had very very like capable, strong, very perfect female leads. And I feel like that put a lot of pressure on me growing up where it was like really hard for me to make mistakes and also pushed like this like weird sense of justice in me, like like standing up for like people that are getting bullied and like things like that, or like I don't know, just like I think I developed this like really really strong sense of justice, although that's like really hard. Honestly, it's like really hard to fight for justice in the way that like freaking shoujo female leads fight for justice, right?
They go too far.
It's like honestly, it's hard. It's hard, and then also they're just like these characters are always just so perfect. They're very Mary Sue characters, and I used to like really seek that out when I was younger. And I think like then I just like had this like sense of like perfectionism, and then like it was really hard for me when I like obviously would fail because I'm not perfect, and so I don't know. I think I struggled a lot with that, and I thought about like I always thought about like where does this like sense of justice, where does this like idea that I have to be perfect comes from? And I don't know, maybe when I was younger when I read all those, maybe that's what influenced me a little bit. I can't really say, but I always thought that maybe that had influenced like as a young girl reading, because I started reading manga when I was in elementary school. As a young girl reading all these like super super like angel like female characters that just like their morals are just so like and they didn't make mistakes, and or like their mistakes were like really simple like stupid mistakes. They're like in a silly goofy mood sometimes, but obviously like they weren't making too many like bad, poor decisions, I would say. I don't know, but I think it kind of affected me a little bit growing up. And then I don't know, I'm in a social work program now. So I don't know that maybe this is like a new realization. I was like, wait, maybe that sense of justice pushed me towards this, but who knows?
It might have.
That's where I'm at now. I think it did affect me a little bit.
What was your favorite shoujo when you were growing up?
I really liked Gaku and Alice. I still really like Gaku and Alice.
Yeah, if Gaku and Alice was what was influencing your sense of justice, then I can definitely see it.
Or like, obviously Sailor Moon, stuff
Pushing
like that.
you,
And then like
I mean, Gaku and Alice is about children with a lot of trauma, so pushing you into doing social work with children, that could
I mean, I
definitely be a factor.
guess I don't don't want to work with children though. But like, if you guys remember like Pika Ichi, I really like Pika Ichi or like Rockin' Heaven, like all the ones where they would like fight against these troubled school bullies, you know?
I think it had sort of the opposite impact on me, that I don't know what I was reading, but I started to like victimize myself. I feel like I was very lonely and like no one understood me. Like I became very, I don't want to say emo because like I didn't do the style at all, but like the mentality, I guess I was kind of emo. Like I wrote really sad poems that were like self-deprecating, and it's like it almost like felt good to feel sorry for myself. Like, I don't know, like somehow I was like noble for bearing all these burdens and not talking to anyone about them. And no one knew my struggle. But I think that I did take that from manga. Which ones? I'm not really sure, but...
Like the mangas where like the female leads are more like reserved, and then like some...
Or like bullied, and... Like I was never
the
bullied.
Male leads are, or sometimes the male leads are like that too.
Yeah. I was never actually bullied, but... Or I mean, like, maybe... I don't know if you stretch the meaning of bullied, but it's not like I was really bullied or anything. But, and I think it also, like, it made my expectation of love, like, there was this perfect, like, soulmate type of person for me out there, and, like, if we just passed each other, like, I wanted, okay, so one of the things that super impacted from manga was I was waiting for a transfer student. Like, every day I would be like, today we're gonna have a transfer student, and they will be a super hot guy who loves anime and manga too, and somehow we'll just click, and like it will. My shoujo will start from there. But I was super hyped about a transfer student coming in.
Did you ever meet your transfer student,
No.
Silver?
No, we had one transfer student, and she was, yeah, it was a woman, and she was like, I don't even know. I never even talked to her, so.
Maybe she was in fact a weeb. She could have been your this could have been your GL romance.
No, I don't think she had any interest in anime or manga.
Well, it worked out. You found Surge after all this time.
After all this time. That took a while.
See, there is hope for you, listeners.
You just have to wait till you're like 25. But yeah, I think it impacted my like expectations of romance, and like I don't know how to say it. Like I put love like on a pedestal. Like I would argue that love is like the ultimate thing, but like I made it out to be the ultimate thing. Like romance would be like, if it was right, it would be perfect. Like I think I really overlooked you're gonna need to put in effort, and like things aren't gonna go smoothly. Like I really romanticized my first love to be like love at first sight, soulmates meeting, and I don't believe in that at all anymore. But back in my impressionable young high school mind, I think that's how I started to think about love.
Interesting. I mean, I didn't start reading manga until I was already in high school, so I don't think it had the same
effect.
Yeah, same effect on my view of love.
Yeah, same. I've always been pretty like can't think of the word, I'm too tired. But I've always been like critical of like love at first sight and stuff like that, because I mean part of it is like putting in like hard work and stuff. Like I've always known that you can't just expect things to go like the way you want it to. It just doesn't happen like that. Life isn't like that.
Yeah. No, I definitely know that now. But before I'd ever really had a relationship, I don't know.
Shoujo definitely sets up the expectations that love is just like doki doki
Yes, that exactly.
Go look at the Christmas lights.
That love is doki doki. That like there will be heart pounding moments all the time, and there'll be sparkles and flowers around the guy.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's like a good emphasis that shoujo is fiction. None of this ever happens. I don't think it ever does in real life. Like, sure, people marry their like high school sweethearts or like their middle school sweethearts or their childhood friends, but those cases are really rare.
I think they are.
Yeah. It just goes to show that, like, now that we're older, we can look down at shoujo, or look back at shoujo and be like, yeah, this clearly is fictional, but it's warm-hearted and it makes me feel happy in the moment. But for someone who's that age and reading it, they might actually believe that this next transfer student, he's going to come in and we're going to fall in love.
And we'll watch anime and manga together.
And then we're going to get married. And I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom.
I literally do comics about this. Comics about a transfer student coming into my class.
Yeah, and you're definitely not the only one.
Since it's like a lot of shoujo is like self-insert fiction.
Yeah.
With like the female lead not having like a strong personality.
Doormat.
I don't want to be mean, but yeah.
The good thing is I never fantasized about those like mean male leads or like the ones that are just downright cruel. I never fantasized about those guys. They were never of interest to me. I was always more interested in like the kind of Kyo type of person. I guess he does get kind of mean. I also loved Inuyasha.
See, like the Sun guys.
Yeah, a little bit. I guess I do. Not really in reality, though. Like, I guess soon enough I was able to separate, like, shoujo romance from reality.
What was, what sparked your, disappointment? Was it a specific guy?
Huh?
Like, what caused, like, you to realize, okay, like, men are trash?
We're gonna get into a therapy session if I start going into that.
Oh no.
Oh no. That's okay. All we need to know is that
men are
eventually you grew up from shoujo into josei, and then the rest is history.
Any last words?
I feel like this was mostly me talking about how shoujo impacted me.
Well, I came into this knowing that shoujo hasn't really impacted my life that much, because I started reading it so late. It's impacted my wallet minorly. I have a few volumes. When I started reading shoujo, I got super into Yono the Dawn, of course, because it's amazing. And then I was like, ooh, I'm going to collect this one physically. And then I have the first 3 volumes, and then at the time, there was like 19. And I was like, no way. And then now there's like 35, 36. And I'm like, yeah, how about no? I'm content with the first 3.
That's me. I like to collect the first volume and the last volume, and I'm like, okay, maybe over time I can try to like get the rest. That was my logic for like most of the manga I've been getting. And then got into Basara, and everything is out of print. And anytime I try to buy something, it just comes out to be more expensive later. So I was like, you know what, screw it. I'll just buy it now. And now I have all the volumes except one. And I'm very proud of that. I'm gonna resell a couple though, since I have some extras.
Oh, you have extras?
Yeah, because I was buying them in like box sets because it was cheaper like that versus like trying to buy it individually. So right now I have a lot of rare ones that I can sell for $300 each, and I can make my profit. I can come back. I can have a comeback. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Get your money.
Like, it was kind of funny. So I bought the first volume in the set for like, I think like $15, and now it's being sold on eBay for like $60. And this is in the span of a year. I don't know what happened. I guess COVID, but like all of a sudden everything just got more expensive. But like I bought it a year ago, so it shouldn't like COVID was kind of halfway through, so it like
but the supply chain issues weren't Like, we didn't really have the supply chain issues yet.
Yeah, because it's been so long term that it's just spiraled out of control at this point.
Yeah. Like, there's no reason for, like, out-of-stock manga to be sold for, like, a ton of money.
Bro, I ordered, I think I ordered 10 volumes of Hunter x Hunter on Right Stuff Anime, and I knew not all of them were in stock, so I knew it would take a while. I got 5 of them. I'm still waiting for 5.
I had to cancel my Right Stuff order because they just weren't shipping it. It was so annoying.
Because they don't like to ship unless they have everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on. I want Hunter x Hunter is one of those that I want to collect because I love it.
Will it ever be completed?
Nope.
Probably
We're
not.
going on,
But-
is it 3 years now? I think.
Something like that.
Maybe even more.
Anyways.
This is our final episode of the season.
Thank you for joining us on our tangents, our shoujo adventures.
We'll be back at some point with new episodes when everyone has a little bit more time to record.
But we've been having fun. Thank you for joining us as we delve into the Shoujo-Verse.
And because she said the title, that means we're done.
Yep.
Bye!
Bye.
Goodbye.
See you next season.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Into the Shoujo-Verse. Check out our social media. We're on Twitter at the Shoujo-Verse, YouTube and Instagram at Shoujo-Verse, and TikTok at Into the Shoujo-Verse. Thank you so much.